The Baha'i writings express high hopes for children who are educated according to the teachings of Baha'u'llah. That ye may each become a lighted candle in the world of humanity, may be devoted to the service of all mankind, may give up your rest and comfort, so that ye may become the cause of the tranquility of the world of creation.
We definitely function better as a family. After, reading the writings, I remember hearing or reading somewhere that, even if you read a little bit a day, it changes your soul slowly, and even if you're not aware of it, you're slowly changing. And I think that's the effect it had on our family.
Within our family, it's great. It's brought our family closer together. We communicate.
The family was like a big, strong wind, just gathered us up and held us in its arm and connected us as a family.
According to the writings of the Baha'i faith, family is where the seeds of world peace are born, nurtured, and grow.
It's like a tree growing from a small little plant up. That's an organic process that has nowhere else to go. It is the process of the Creator.
Charlotte Kahn and John Fogath live in the shadows of the 4 sacred mountains of the Navajo people in Arizona. It is here that they are raising their 3 children, Des, Nani, and James, in accordance with Navajo tradition and the spiritual values found in the writings of the Baha'i faith.
We're so grounded and had a spiritual upbringing. I remember playing here in this area, in fact playing on this very log that I'm sitting on as a child. But I remember most about this area is praying, getting up every morning and saying my prayers, and being raised in this one-room cabin here, and coming back to this cabin over and over again all throughout my life, and playing in this little stream here of the water, and the water here, knowing that it flows directly from the earth, and that its source is right here behind us, a couple of 100 feet. And that's why this area is called Black Rock Spring, because the water comes out from the earth right here, and it's a sacred place.
My clans in Navajo are Tohiglini Nishlin, Tochitni Bashichin, Bitatni Dashiche, and Bilagana Dashinella. And that's my family that I just said in Navajo, my mom's side of the family and my father's side of the family.
Charlotte is a 3rd-generation Baha'i and has raised her children to understand traditional Navajo values. Living on the Navajo Nation reservation nurtures a love and respect for the natural environment and its people. It also brings a life of social and economic uncertainty that can often weigh down its residents. Until just a few years ago, the family had few of the conveniences that most people see as necessities, like running water and electricity. Yet, when the children were young, Charlotte and John found ways to keep the family happy and together.
So, a long time ago, we bought a bunch of board games, and then so we had kerosene lanterns and stuff like that, so we just kind of play in the candlelight type of thing, But then it was all the games that brought us together in the first place, All the family games we'd all play, and like who's win, or like beat this guy,
Like most parents, as the children grew older, Charlotte became concerned about their future. She wanted them to be able to face the challenges an ever-changing world presents. And despite its foundation of unity, the family began to lose hold of its tight bond.
Because of the world we live in today, that is changing every day so fast. And I was really struck by the awareness of all of this when my children were small, and looking at their innocent little eyes and wondering what they're learning and remembering what I was learning here, playing here by the water in this green grass. So that's why I really became stronger in the faith, because I wanted to teach my children this way.
Charlotte had concluded that she would get her whole family involved with the Baha'i community. She believed that by focusing on the study of the Baha'i writings, a unity could be formed that would forge a path of service for each of them. They began an intense study process, and each member of the family took steps to advance their spiritual development.
Yeah, it was sort of that same feeling when we were doing board games, like together type of thing, you know what I mean? So we started out straight, but then we kind of lost track somewhere in the middle and then got back together again.
In the summer of 2002, Des and Nani joined native Baha'is from Alaska, Canada, and the United States for a 6-week intensive training institute in South Dakota. The group made it through all 6 books in the Rui sequence and practiced what they learned through service to the community.
It was that 6 weeks that was the best 6 weeks I've ever experienced, and it was so intense, and we were such, an inspired group that we went out into the community, and we had just fun, events and Baha'i gatherings, and we went out and taught the faith.
It did had a major impact in my life, because that's when I realized, okay, this is who I am, and I've got to be a serious youth if I want to be a role model for my friends.
And all of those youth went on to do something great.
While the girls were away, Charlotte was asked to become the outreach coordinator at the Native American Baha'i Institute near the family's home in Arizona. This was no small task, given that her area of service included hundreds of miles of territory. Her role was to establish ongoing programs throughout the region, including children's classes, study groups, and devotional meetings. Everywhere she went, Charlotte brought members of her family to help organize the programs and act as tutors for the study groups. Continued study of the Baha'i faith and opportunities for service gave Charlotte an even deeper appreciation for the way Baha'i teachings could complement the native traditions she valued.
And I realized that the teachings of the faith are very important. And then even more than that they go hand in hand with our great spiritual teachings of our people.
I said, wow, their lifestyle and the writings and everything is basically identical almost with the Navajo culture. And even my great-great-grandmother told me that there is going to be a man who come out will bring in a new message of God. I felt this strong need for prayers. I don't know, something. I woke up real early and something kind of like a magnet draw me to build a fire in the sweat lodge. And I sat in there and prayed for about 3 hours.
Through prayer and personal reflection, John decided to build a traditional Navajo prayer hogan that could be used as a meeting place for people from all over the world.
A prayer house of worship, basically, where you could say prayers and invite the Baha'is who are going to be growing in this community. This was before there wasn't too many Baha'is.
John's example of service inspired his children and helped lay a new foundation of a unified family and turned the household into a point of attraction for the whole community.
All through my life, my father's been excellent with. He teaches me some real life, things that you'll need throughout your life. So I would go up with him to chop trees down, to cut up the firewood, and I'm awesome with an axe. And it comes with the territory, It's part of the way of life. And it's all very spiritual when you think about it, because Baha'u'llah says work is worship, right? And when you're working, it's a prayer. And I think that's the gift my father has given me. He taught me how to be a hard worker. And so now I feel equipped to go out into the world.
Seeing so many people from diverse backgrounds visit their family hogan, Des, Nani, and James acquired a newfound sense of service and a vision of themselves as citizens of the world, not just the reservation.
when I went to Belize, I noticed, how similar and alike our people are with the Belizeans there. And it was kind of the opposite. You think you're going to get a glimpse of the entire world, except I went there and I go, oh, they're just like us,
Des and Nani traveled to Belize in Central America to participate in a youth project. Des was asked by the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of Belize to be one of the project coordinators.
People there were, just like the Native Americans, colonized by the British people, and the Native Americans kind of pushed around by the Europeans, and so we got along really well. And they were surprised to find out that I was from the United States, and that, I was a Native American living on a reservation, quite similar to, the Belizean way of living. And because their idea of an American is wealthy, every family member has a car pretty much, well-to-do, college, and they thought I was just a rich girl, coming down to help the poor Belizeans type of thing. But I said, no, I worked really hard to get here.
Today we went to some Mayan ruins, and we went with our Baha'i friend who's Mayan herself, and she showed us around, and we climbed tall. We climbed a lot of stairs, let's say, and we went to the top and we said some prayers and took some pictures. It was amazing to me in my heart. I could see things and feel a presence of spiritualness, of ancient people there, and it was amazing. I myself felt like crying, but because before I left, my grandparents were like, well, be sure and tell your friends, that the Belizean people you meet there, that you're all related somehow. My grandfather had written a letter saying that the Belizeans, the Mayan here, were related to them, and he said, make sure that your relatives know that you're a Baha'i. And it was really special.